Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ella Reid and this is my channel Ella Reid, and today we're reading chapter 75, Dysmorphia, of the story Marriage, a heartstopper fanfiction by heartstopper_fan22 on Wattpad. And today I am sick. I am having a flare-up, so my voice sounds like utter trash, that's why. Also, I thought I'd update you on the channel pet. She's doing great, she's thriving. She kind of looks like an axolotl with her coloring. If you don't know what an axolotl is, they're amazing and cute. You should totally look them up. But anyway, I also wanted to say that someone has asked me to continue the I Still Think You're Beautiful fanfiction from way back on my channel. And I absolutely fell in love with this fanfiction, so I will be doing that because that was a bomb fanfiction. I might just restart the fanfiction. It depends on if I can figure out where I stopped and where I started. Who knows? I might just delete the old videos and then start over. But who knows? Maybe I'll just do like a really long reading until I feel like that's good enough. I don't know. But anyway, like, subscribe, comment. Whether that's commenting recommendations or whether that is just saying hello. That both are great. But anyway, we're gonna jump right in. I do want to give a trigger warning. This chapter is called Dysmorphia, so that should give you a vague reference of what's happening. Anyway, let's jump right in and we will get started. Jesus, I need to practice more. I'm so sorry. Chapter 75. Dysmorphia. Next perspective. I made lunch and set it on the table for us. Charlie is still in our closet, rummaging through his whole wardrobe to find the perfect thing to wear. He wants to impress his parents and look nice, which is normally a good thing, except when it comes to Charlie. He's insecure, and his body dysmorphia causes his body to look bad in his eyes. Like, his mind is playing tricks on him. When he looks in the mirror, he sees untrue things. Charlie will never find the perfect outfit. He always thinks he looks bad in everything. I try to keep him away from the mirror as much as possible, but I'm not oblivious to the way that he feels. I've been checking on him to make sure he's not getting himself all worked up about it. Many times he'll just get so angry, blaming it on the clothes, but I know he's blaming himself. He just doesn't want to worry me. And sometimes admitting stuff out loud makes everything real. It's not just in your head anymore. It's out in the open. Then you're vulnerable. Something that bugs me a little, that really shouldn't, is really selfish of me. He talks to Elle about it, and not me. He's told me a few times, but he goes straight to Elle first. And I know it's because she understands the struggle firsthand, but I wish he would open up to me about it. I don't have the body dysmorphia, but at times I feel self-conscious about my body. I definitely don't have abs or six-pack, and my stomach isn't completely flat. And next to Charlie, I look like an elephant. It bothers me a bit, so I understand what it's like. Not to the extent that Charlie does, but I still could help him. I feel so out of control, like I'm in the back seat when he keeps things from me. We haven't been even living together for a year yet, and I know it will still take time, patience, forgiveness, and many mistakes before we can fully understand each other, but I will try every day until that happens, no matter what. I could hear some chatter coming from our closet. Now he must be talking with Elle, I called it. I don't want to disturb them, but I do want to make sure Charlie was alright. We needed to eat lunch and get ready to leave pretty quick, and I was hoping to maybe have a bit of time to maybe go for a walk or something before we left, just in case dinner doesn't go well. I quietly walked into the closet, revealing the big mess on the floor. Charlie saw me and told Elle he had to go. Bye. Love you, he said as he hung up. I instantly felt a bit guilty for intruding on their conversation. Charlie, I could have left if you still wanted to talk to Elle. He turned to me, looking up at me from the floor that he was positioned on. No, I didn't want to talk to her anymore. My face turned puzzled with confusion to what has happened, so I inquire, Charlie, what's wrong? He looks down at his lap and fiddles with the loops on his jeans. I don't know, he says, as if I'm asking a question, uncertain of what's happening. I bent down beside him and rubbed his back. Well, are you stressed about going to your mom's house? I know you guys have had a few arguments on the phone lately. He considered what I said, then opened up. Yeah, she's mad at me for a million different things, and I want to show her how much I've grown and that I'm not a disappointment son after all. There's just so much pressure on me, and I can't take it. I grabbed his head and brought his forehead close to my lips, then kissed it a few times before telling him, you were never a disappointment of a son, so please never talk about my fiancé like that. He's sweet, caring, kind, empathetic, supportive, comforting, and hilarious. He's never been a disappointment. It was the people around him that didn't understand him or support him, that were the disappointment, not him. He just slowly and softly wrapped his arms around me. It was gently, but felt so warm and strong, like the feeling was walking into a well-built, sturdy treehouse. He held on to me for a long time. Breaking the silence, I said, why are all these clothes on the floor? I can help you clean them up if you need help. Or are you feeling overwhelmed? I said as soft-spoken as I could. Before he said anything else, I pulled him from a hug onto my lap, facing me, showing him he was my full attention. Then he spoke. My OCD is acting strange and compulsive because I'm stressed and I need to reorganize my clothes, but then I realized that we need to leave by 2, so then I was freaking out about the time. Then Elle called and distracted me more, and then she asked what I was wearing, and then everything looked bad on me, so I gave up. He was talking so fast, it was hard to catch everything, but I think I managed. I thought about how I could be of help to this situation. It's hard because I can't fix his OCD, and I can't help him see himself the way I see him. But I could relieve some of the stress by taking some things off his plate. I stood up and stuck my hand out to help him off the floor. Okay, well, I'll pick out your outfit, then help you fold and organize this stuff. We can do it together. Charlie, you're not alone. I'll always be here. He shoots me a smile and takes my hand before saying, okay, but don't pick out just joggers and a sweatshirt. I laugh and say, how did you know I was going to pick that? He smirks. Because you have a thing for me when I'm wearing that type of stuff. I laugh again, knowing it's true. He just looks so cute in oversized, comfy clothes, so cuddly, as if I could hug him all day. Chapter 76. Time to leave. Nick's perspective. I'd finally picked out an outfit that I know Charlie will like, non-ripped black skinny jeans because he wants to look well dressed, and a navy blue long sleeve button up with a collar. I set it out on the bed for him so he could get changed after we finally had lunch. Luckily, I made pasta salad, so it didn't matter if it got cold. Charlie was taking a call from Michael on speakerphone on the couch. It was getting close to the time we needed to leave, and Charlie needed to eat something before we left for dinner. Because dinner wasn't till later. I walk to our living space and say, hey Char, we need to leave, soon, really soon, and your mom has said dinner is not till much later in the evening. We haven't had anything since breakfast, and I've made lunch, so could you please come have some? Charlie looked over to me and smiled. Then Michael piped through the phone. Nick, you are a good man. And Charlie, get moving and eat what he's made you. When Tori makes something, I praise her for a week. Charlie chuckled a little and said, sounds like my sister. Okay, I'll get moving. Bye. Bye, Michael croaked. Michael is such a character, but in all the best ways. He's sweet when he needs to be deep and interesting when you're having a dull moment or a conversation, and so funny when he chooses. Charlie got up from the couch and sat at the table. A few minutes go by, and I'm almost done with mine. I glance over to Charlie, who looks like he's been chewing a lot, but his bowl is practically full looking, untouched, and these portions weren't that big. He should have eaten like half by now. Something was up. I know something is up. Now comes the hard part, prying it out of him. Charlie's perspective. I didn't want to eat. Nick's lunch dinner would be in a few hours, and I need to be as hungry as possible. I need to prove to my parents that I'm okay now, show them how well I've done in these past few months not being at home. One thing I never told Nick was that my parents tried to forbid me to move out, saying that Nick couldn't handle me along with all my issues, and I would fall apart if I didn't have their constant eye on me, which I needed to prove to them wasn't true, because it wasn't. Being here with Nick has been the best time of my life. He's so supportive and caring towards me, not like my mom, who just shoved food down my throat. She still really believes that she helped me. The only thing that did was teach me to throw up meals after I ate them. My brain couldn't handle not being in control, so I made a way to be. And it wasn't good. I felt sick and dizzy all the time. She made everything worse for me. It will hurt Nick so much if he heard my mom say that she thought he wasn't going to support me when things got tough. I just need to prove to her now, well, I'm doing, and that moving out with Nick was a good decision. I looked up in front of me to see Nick staring at me with his sympathetic, what's wrong face. He knows I'm not actually eating the lunch, that I'm just chewing one mouthful over and over again. I just don't know how to tell him without hurting his feelings. He finally lets out what he wants to say. Why are you not eating lunch? And I know it's not because you don't like it. You love pasta salad. He was right. I did like pasta salad. Because I want to prove to my mom that I'm better now. So if I don't eat lunch and wait till dinner, even if I'm stressed, I'll be so hungry I'll eat anyways. He was now looking at me with his "are you stupid" face. Charlie, ask yourself, when you're stressed and need to feel in control of stuff, do you still eat because you're hungry? Or do you just ignore the feeling and don't eat? Now I felt stupid because he was right. What was I thinking? It was just an excuse I made up in my head to not eat lunch. You're right, I guess. I wanted to feel in control of something because I've been so out of control over everything today. He grabs my bowl and dumps it into his. Moves seats so that he's sitting directly beside me. Hey, we'll share. It's less stressful, right? Now you'll only need to think about half the bowl. I nodded and slowly ate the salad, unbelievably grateful at how Nick is so good to me and has taken the time to notice what makes me feel better. Nick was at the door and called out for me. Charlie, it's time to go. Plus, I still have some surprises for you that might cheer you up. I walked over to the door where he was standing, and he handed me an envelope. I opened it and screamed. When I did, there was pictures of Nick washing his motorcycle in a freaking bathing suit, soaking wet with soap and everything. This was literally a dream come true. He looked so hot, and hotter as I flipped through all of them. My eyes were focused on every detail, examining each picture carefully. I came to the last picture and laughed so hard. It was Tara and Darcy kissing his cheeks on either side. They probably had so much fun that day. I'm hanging these in our room, I say, proudly holding the picture against my heart. He flushed red and replies, "No, you're not. Those were a joke gift." Well, they are my gift, so I'll do as I please with them, I say matter-of-factly. He scoffs, then hands me my old helmet when we used to go motorcycling together before we almost crashed, and he swore that he would never let me on it again because he doesn't want me to get hurt, which is so hypocritical because he still rides. What's this for? He smiles back at me and grabs his off the shelf along with the keys. My eyes lit up, and my smile was uncontrollable. Was he really gonna let me ride with him? It's been years since he let me on it. I thought I would never go on it again. Some of my all-time favorite memories on it, I thought I would never go on it again. Some of my all-time favorite memories were on the motorcycle, going for late-night movie drives, to watch the sunset, riding along the pier. He even took me to a parking lot one time and taught me how to ride it. The clutch was a bit tricky at first, but I got the hang of it, and I never felt so free. There's something about it that I loved so much. Maybe it was the adrenaline. Maybe it was the feel of the wind on my face. Maybe it was the fact that I was so close to Nick. Or maybe it was all of it. Are we going on the motorcycle? I ask. All the memories of us came back, and for some stupid reason I started to cry. I guess I never knew how much I missed it until I really thought about it. Oh, love, you're really happy, aren't you? I nodded and hugged Nick tight, feeling a bit silly for crying, but not caring because it was Nick. He then pulled away and said, "This isn't going to be a regular thing, so you know how worried I am when you're on there. I couldn't imagine you getting hurt and it being my fault or anything like that." I squeezed his hand and pulled him to the car park to leave, feeling more excited than I have in a long time. Alright, everyone, that's the end of today's episode. I do want to say that in the next episode, they are at Charlie's parents' house. So if you don't like the idea of parents kind of berating their children or fighting or anything like that, I think there might be some like foul language at the same time. I'm not quite sure. I don't actually remember too well. But either way, this next episode can be alarming to some people or triggering, I guess. So be careful when watching that. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like, subscribe, comment, whether it's just to say hello or whether it's to give recommendations. I might be doing another filming today or tomorrow, where I film for I Still Think You're Beautiful, because someone asked for that, and I'm gonna give the people what they want, even if it's, like, I don't know how many people wanted to see this, but I don't care, I'm filming it, so, anyway, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, goodbye ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, friends.